Well, welcome back to the Steve Rob Show. Today, we're working on my DeWalt diesel heater, diesel or kerosene, 215,000 BTUs. I got a whole bunch of parts here. I'm not going to use them all, but I'm going to use the ones that you should maintain your heater with to make sure it runs at optimal conditions. So we're going to get to it right now, and I'm going to show you the parts. And one thing I did notice that I did not know before was when I was looking at all these parts, yeah, they're all Mr. Heater parts. I did not know that all these parts were interchangeable between DeWalt and Mr. Heater, and I guess maybe they're made by Mr. Heater. I'm not too sure, but all these parts, I'll just show you one right here. Yeah, you could see Mr. Heater. So I got all the different kits here. And DeWalt is, I guess, affiliated with Mr. Heater somehow. So let's get to it, and I'm going to show you the parts that I'm going to change. And I have never changed a part on this yet, and I've had it for 5 years. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's just take the bonnet off of this. It'll be a lot easier to service in here. Okay, let's just buzz these three screws out here, and they are Phillips bits. I tried to put a socket on there, but they look about to be 8 mil, but I can't get a socket in there. It's way too tight. Oh, there we go. Hold on a second here. I need 2 hands. There it goes. That's coming off here. Anything going to fall out or what? Okay, let me just put these down here. And let me just show you what this looks like. This is the first time coming out, guys. And there she is right there. So let's take a look in the package and see what these parts are and see what the difference is. Okay, so here's the box right here. Let's open it up. And this is the only kit that I'll be doing today. And it's got some instructions in there, and it's nice that I don't have to use any tools to get into this thing. So here is the fuel filter, and here's these 2 parts right here. Wow, like check this out. See how nice and clean this is? And of course this foam one here is just the same, but it comes with the with this. See how nice and clean that is? Comes with the gasket and this foam piece. So let's just take this foam piece out. Now this one don't look bad. I can use that for a backup, I guess, or something. Let's take this one out here, and here's the gasket. I'll save that gasket. Put it over here. Wow, check that out. That's pretty dirty. Hope you can hear me over top of that heater going. Wow, check that out. Is that a huge difference or what? Let's just take a look at this side by side. Here's the 2 backs. Wow, that's like night and day. Here's the 2 fronts here. Yeah, guys. Wow, I'm thinking this should have been changed a long time ago. Okay, I'll show you this this part here. You could see that. If we take a look at it here, you could see it can go on this way or it can go on that way. But the only difference is you're going to have the mesh on the outside, and that's wrong. So it's got to go like this. And it's on this square hole that it's covering up. And yeah, so that fits on there nice. I just put the screws in there first. And we'll just, we'll take the gasket here and just duplicate the same. So it goes over top like this. This seems pretty straightforward to me. There it is there. And it has this little hole duplicated. So let's fire it on and get on our way here. Well, I'm going to put it in with a hand screwdriver because there's no way I'm going to fire that thing in there with the impact. And then we'll just snug it up here. I think this is pretty easy, but you know what? To me, that needs to be changed. I turned that heater off there because it was getting a little bit loud. Yeah, so this is a pretty easy maintenance item, and you know what, to tell you the truth, for 5 years I should have done this. I don't know, how long do you guys change these? But I did look in the manual, and they are saying you should change it every year. So now that foam piece I can get in after. Okay, so I just snug these up. You don't gotta go retard tight on it or anything. Just a couple of grunts. Okay, so let's get that little foam piece here. Okay, so I should be able to just stab this in. I think so. That's pretty well it right there. I can't see any other way. It'd be pretty hard to do that when you're trying to stab it in. I think that's fine right there. Okay, so now that I have changed this, I wonder if the settings have changed. Because of course it's all brand new filters now. So we're going to have to check that, and it's supposed to be set at 8.4. I had mine down last time, I believe it was about 6. And let's see if this changes at all. So we'll start her up, and I'll have to get my gauge out, and I'll show you that too. Well, I just thought I'd show you the kits that I got that I'm not installing, but I'll do this at a later date. And this is a small little kit here, and it's really just what's in behind here. All it is a spring and a small little ball bearing, and the 2 plastic little fittings that go in here. And I've already taken one out and put it in the test port, and that's it right here. So, and the other kit, check it out right there. And there it is in there. And guys, this is just, you got to take this off, it looks like in the instructions, and it's in behind here. And this is the rotor kit, and that's the one that makes the pressure for the air, that pushes the air through the system. And I thought that's something I don't have to replace right now because it's working fine. And of course the only thing I got left from my filter kit, and this is the filter kit here, is the fuel filter, and it comes with the grommet and everything, and I thought that's pretty good too. And I'll show you these inside. And this is the flame sensor here. And the last one is, you can check it out right there. Guys, all this stuff is pretty easy. This is the igniter, like the what lights the fuel. And all this stuff together, I believe, was under 60 bucks for all of it together. So I thought that was pretty good. And what I did was I went on my catalog for the DeWalt heater, and I looked at the part numbers in their illustrated list of all the different parts, and then I went to Mr. Heater and I took a look, and the parts matched exactly. Now where I picked all these up, I bought these all off of Amazon, and I was surprised that they stocked all this stuff. So yeah, and I'm going to show you underneath the unit here on some of the common things that I've fixed over the time that I've had this heater. And to be honest with you, these type of heaters are a little finicky. You have to adjust them a lot of times, because just a couple of difference in pound pressure sometimes makes a difference on how it'll start. So I like to have a gauge for it. And temperature, I've noticed temperature makes a huge difference. Like last year it was extremely cold, and yeah, the temperature does affect it as well, you know, for starting and running and that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're a little more finicky. I'd like to get my hands on one of them. It's a different type of drive system. They use an electric pump in there. They don't use this air pressure vane and none of this stuff. And I'd like to get my hands on one of them to see if they're any better. But for now, this has been a good unit. I'll show you underneath the hood here and see what it looks like and what parts you should look after, you know, because yeah, I have done quite a few videos on these and they have deteriorated apart. So let's take a look. Okay, if you take a look right there, you can see the hoses there. Now I had to replace the hose. That black hose is strictly air, and the red one is fuel. And that is a silicone hose. I can't recommend that hose because it's not the hose that I guess you're supposed to technically use. But I had that silicone hose, and it's a high heat hose, and it's been working great. Now the problem that I have had with these heaters from the day I bought this, about maybe a year and a half after I owned it, the black hose, it was all black hose in there, and they were just cracked and split and everything. And you can see it comes up here to the air pump. So let's go on the other side now. Well, here we go right here on the other side, and I'll just point it out right here. This is that igniter right there. Very easy to maintain and look after. And this down here is the flame sensor. And both them parts together were under $25, and I thought that was pretty great. And it looks like it's very easy to maintain. But you know what? Them hoses, when they're cracked, forget it. That's one of the major causes that I found on a no start with these is pump pressure and cracked hoses, and that's the worst part about these heaters. Okay, before I button this up, I thought, you know what? Why don't I show you guys this thing running with the bonnet off? I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It's pretty fascinating, and I can't run it for long. I just got to run it for a second because it's not designed to run with the lid off there. Let's just take a look. We'll fire it up, and this is the first start, and we'll see what the pressure is. And then I'll put the lid back on and then adjust the pressure because I don't know if it makes a difference or not. But let's take a look. Okay, you guys ready? Let's hit the switch. Let's take a look. There you go, guys. There she is inside. Wow. Okay, let's put the gauge on here. Let's fire her up. Well, there we go right there. I got the lid all on, and we'll fire up again. I did notice with the lid off it was at 8, and last time, if you've been following the channel a long time, I had backed her way down, just above 6. Let's take a look here. We'll start it up again, and we'll see how she runs. Okay, with the lid on, it's about the same. I'm going to back her off to 7 and just leave her right there. Well, I hope you could see everything in them clips, but yes, the pump pressure did go up with the change of the filters. And I'm just figuring there's more airflow there. But I'll tell you something that I have never mentioned before about the heater there. Is the adjusting knob that has a screw and a ball bearing in behind. Because I have such huge swings and difference in temperature here, I have noticed sometimes that that adjustment for the pump pressure with that little ball bearing in there, yeah, that can get stuck sometimes. So if you notice that you're turning it on, you're not getting nothing at all, of course check your pump pressure, and if you have hardly any pump pressure at all, take that set screw out with the spring and the ball bearing, put it back in, and most times it'll be fine again. Yeah, because I have had that before where it was just off on the side a bit and it was just sucking air. But yeah, so they are a little bit finicky, and it's good to maintain them. I should have changed this filter a long time ago, but I figure I'm not using it that much. I'm thinking at the most every season, maybe, wow, like I'm thinking 15 hours tops, you know, from the fall till the spring, because I only need to have this heater on for maybe 10 minutes at a time, and then I got the electric going on. And my electric ain't doing so good lately. So, yeah, it keeps on shutting off too early. But, okay, thanks for joining me here today. I hope you like this. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. And I'll put some other ones in the back here at the end of vids I've done on these heaters. And maybe you could pick some tips off of there too. So come back again. Let's have some more fun, guys. Cheers.